This episode of the FREE99 podcast is brought to you by Ramenwell, located at 3378 18th Street in the city of San Francisco. For reservations, pickup order, and delivery, please go to ramenwell.com. Follow them on Instagram at RamenwellSF. Hello. Live?
We don't do that no more. We don't do this.
Oh, yeah. Sound check from Isaac. Yeah. Jan Wayne Swayze presents the FREE99 podcast. Be sure to follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Twitch, Instagram. Search FRE99 podcast. Shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to all the listeners. Jan in the building.
Hello.
That's sexy as fuck. Ramel in the building.
Someday we gon' set it off. Someday we gon' get this off.
That's your friend?
Baby, don't you bet it all on a pack of fentanyl.
I'm the good homie Gus. It is. I'm the good homie Gus, customer service. On episode 170 of the FREE99 podcast, Ramel, please do the introduction.
This man to my left, to Gus's right, to Jan's middle is my favorite Sugitan. We're talking about Chef Harold Jurado.
Woo! Thank you, Chef Harold.
Owner, operator, supplier, and wow, that's a fucking soundbite right there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's he's the owner and operator of Ramenwell SF. That's Ramenwell SF. Only if we had a bit of your food here. It looks like we do.
Hey, Chef Harold, could you please intro what you brought for us today?
Yeah, absolutely. Over here is a katsu chicken with a garlic, like spicy garlic aioli, some katsu sauce.
Woo.
Our mushroom ramen,
My dick's hard.
takoyaki, vegan mac salad,
Not no longer.
our house pork ramen, and then on the end are two buns, which are a fried chicken bun, which has like kimchi, and then also the garlic aioli. And
Bon, yo.
Bing bong.
the pork bun at the end.
Yo.
got two of them.
Shout out to Ramenwell. What's the address of Ramenwell? What's the address?
It's 3378 18th Street in the Mission, in SF.
La Mission.
And you're 8 years now.
No, 5 years.
5 years.
5
I'm
years.
sorry.
Going on 5 years.
5 years.
8 years is when you moved here from Chicago.
Yeah.
Chi-Town's
I've been here
finest.
I'm going on 8 years, yeah.
Ooh. So, did you grow up in Chicago?
Yeah, born and raised, yeah.
Born and raised? Damn.
What's a very Chicago like food?
I mean, deep dish, Chicago hot dogs.
What, Chicago hot dog just tomato and a fucking pickle, right?
No, there's like celery
Celery
salt.
salt.
All right, calm down, Gus.
Easy.
There's a lot more to
Glizzy.
it. Sport peppers, onions, neon green relish. There's all of that on it.
Yeah.
Neon green
Yeah,
relish.
and mustard, yellow mustard, no ketchup.
No, never
No.
any ketchup on your hot dogs. Don't be.
I kind
never.
of like
Never.
it.
No, do you put ketchup on your
You see
steak?
that look though? I
Yeah.
kind of like it.
No, so you divide. That's where the line is drawn. Like if you put ketchup on your hot dog, one of my best friends just like he unfriends you.
My intro to hot dog as a kid was hot dog and rice and like egg.
I was about to say
Yeah.
spaghetti.
You know?
That's true. But let's be real, that's not a hot dog. That is nuclear. That is like
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
hot pink. Like how you like
is,
your
yeah.
lime green relish.
yeah.
It's a hot pink hot dog. It's
Exactly.
a Claire's or Lisa Frank hot dog.
yeah, you might as well just put a fucking unicorn on that bitch.
There it is. So you said deep dish pizza.
Yeah.
You said Chicago dog.
Yeah.
What's one thing when you go back home that you have to have? Is there a food item when you go back home you're like, we have to make this stop. I want this food.
For sure, it's definitely the dog I get that at Home Depot. Like
Right in front?
yeah, it's called we call it a Depot dog.
No, that's true though. Home Depot, that fucking cafe or whatever in
Yeah.
front, they got hitters, dog.
It's
Yeah, they
really
do.
good.
Yeah,
they
do.
It's solid. It's
Yeah.
consistent too.
It is.
And then for sandwiches, I have to go to Potbelly's. Like the first one's there. Grew up on it.
What do you get there?
What do I get at Potbelly's?
Yeah.
A hot ham and cheese, everything on it, extra jardinera. Like
What's jardinera?
Jardinera is like something that I
it's a
found
Dijon-
out that isn't all around the world. Like the first time I went to a Subway in Vegas, I asked for jardinera and they didn't have it, and I was really confused. But it's like hot peppers, cauliflower, carrots. It's all like kind of pickled, but
see
then
that?
also
Yeah.
marinated in olive oil too. And then you put
I
it's like the mix between hot pepper and sweet peppers, except it has a little bit more vinegar to it.
It's like what they put on like those hot beef sandwiches, right?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's sweet pepper and hot pepper too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think
okay.
that's the key to all the sandwiches in Chicago.
But do you have Dutch Crunch? Yeah.
No, we don't. I first heard
In the
that when I
podcast.
first moved here.
I was gonna ask that. too.
I think everybody sweats Dutch Crunch a lot over here, a little bit too much.
Oh wow! Okay, Jar never relaxed. Doc. It's just olive oil.
I don't know. Sometimes the Dutch Crunch cuts the top of my mouth. I'm like, it's not all that, but
You know why?
It's good.
It's you know why? Because the Dutch feel that if they cut you, you get the flavor faster.
okay, yeah, go straight to your bloodstream.
There we go.
Understood, yeah.
There we
That's
go.
science, bro.
Yeah,
you
the
know
Dutch,
science.
The Dutch know about those.
Hey,
That
what the
is-
Dutch know about that crunch though?
Yeah.
So, what kind of when you're here? Then you don't fuck with Dutch Crunch. Do you get like a soft roll?
I started out as the Dutch Crunch because I got really excited. I'm like, holy shit, like, what is this?
Yeah.
We don't get this out here. And
Right,
then I
right.
got it, and I was like, okay, I think I'm over it. So
Yeah.
last time I got a sandwich, I did get a soft roll, though.
Baby ass teeth.
My wife got a Dutch Crunch. She lives by it. She's Vietnamese, so she likes it. She
Yeah,
likes it when
she
her
likes
sandwiches
cuts, yeah.
cut the top of her mouth.
She likes.
Trying to get your money's worth. Up here.
Exactly.
She likes that form of
but
torture. Yeah, exactly.
exactly. From the banh mi's and all that, but
Yeah.
I got a soft roll last time.
From the that
French
makes
roll.
sense from the banh mi's. That does make sense though,
Yeah.
right?
It doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be like on that polar though. It doesn't have to be like super soft or super crunchy. It could be somewhere in the middle, which is what I'm
I don't know
looking
about
for.
that. I'm not sure about that, chef.
I had a sandwich from Oxford, which is over on Silver in the Excelsior. Shout out to Justin. He drove me out there. They had a Dutch Crunch and it was toasted and it didn't cut. It was a nice soft bread.
Was that just yesterday?
Tuesday was yesterday.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, it was yesterday. And like there's different delis out here. Like, have you had Lil Luca's yet?
Yeah, of course.
What do you
Camino?
think? Yeah, what do you think?
Good. It's solid.
It's solid.
The one thing I think about sandwiches.
Go for it.
Am I hating on all sandwich
No,
places?
please,
nah.
please.
Okay, this is not. This isn't
No,
a
we'll
blanket
cut it out.
statement.
We don't cut anything out.
I'm gonna get hate mail now.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, fucking dead sandwiches like on my doorstep and shit, like just cut up.
Subway wrappers in front of the house.
You wake up and there's a huge dead sandwich in your bed.
Ketchup
It's
everywhere.
like, yo, I'm about to eat this shit.
Shit, like no, I think there's a little bit too much bread to meat ratio
In where?
in the sandwiches.
In here?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
That is true.
So you don't
For
like
me.
to well, because
I like
you
a
don't
lot
like to
more meat.
carb up. That's fine.
yeah. I don't like carb milk as much.
Yeah, well, I like carbs.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Compared to like what you're used to, right? Because I've seen sandwiches from Chicago, and it's always been like a lot more meat, and the bread's just kind of like a napkin holding it together.
Yeah.
Let's be real though.
For
This might be
sure.
an unpopular opinion. The only reason why it's holding it together is you guys put too much salsa in that shit. Like from those Chicago beef rolls and stuff.
You mean it's also like how it dips?
You know,
the
but sometimes
dip?
they just like lathered on, right?
No.
All right, well, I'm watching the wrong channel.
Yeah,
then, guys.
yeah.
I'm
You're
sorry.
watching The Bear.
Wow! Yeah, I'm watching the Bear, man. Fuck
FX
that. I
or
love that.
whatever.
I love that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what
It's a good
about?
show.
Okay, I went to Chicago once. Right. Shout out to PB. I love you, motherfucker. Call me. So, we wanted to go to this. This is like back in 2013, 2014, something like that. And they had this hot dog spot that I wanted to go to.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs, dude.
They closed down.
They closed it down.
With the S or with the Z? It's just hot dogs with the
It's
S.
a hot dog.
No, it's hot Doug. D-O-U-G.
Oh, okay.
And they used to put foie gras on their motherfucking hot
Yeah,
dog.
there's a duck sausage. Like they changed up how the sausage was made, and then they changed up the toppings. So it was just like a more culinary, more a new take on the hot dog.
If you hear in the way he talks,
got lit.
because he has a culinary background.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. I want to
Yeah,
talk about the Chicago food
yeah.
though. What about Pequods? You like Pequods?
My favorite.
What is that?
pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
is
sorry,
that?
I'm not.
I
I'm
grew,
not
I
from
grew
Chicago.
close to it. I grew up close to it.
You're gonna have to tell them. You're gonna have to let them learn.
No, it's a deep dish pizza,
Okay.
but on the outside they caramelize the like it's in a cast iron a mold, and then they they heat it up.
Yeah.
They put cheese on the outside and they caramelize it, and like people think that things are burnt for a bad reason, but this is burnt for a good reason. It's like so much extra crisp, so much
Texture,
extra flavor,
yeah.
like all of it. Yeah. for sure.
It's like a different take on Chicago deep dish, right? Because they have Illuminati. Is it Illuminati's?
No, yeah.
Illuminati's,
That's more of a chain.
Yeah, it's more of a chain. And they also...
Ramel.
Yeah, no.
Subway of this shit.
Yeah, this motherfucker said, I went to Subways in Vegas. All right, leave me alone, right? So, like...
That's when I lived there, though. Like, it wasn't like I was visiting Vegas and I was like, oh, I want to try the Subway.
I need a good sandwich.
I was going back home.
You're like... So, like... what was it? It was Illuminati's. They actually have a keto version of their pizza, and I think the crust is just made out of meat, like ground beef or something.
I believe it. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I believe it. It's kind of like
Crazy.
I would eat that with rice.
Yeah, and ketchup.
You need to add your carbs. That's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
it's not a bad thing. It's just not me.
So Gus was mentioning that you speak like this and are critical like this for a reason. And that is not just because you own a random ass ramen shop, but it's because
pretty random.
Yeah, you have a highly decorated culinary background, and I mean like stemming from 2004, 2003.
Yeah, that's when I first started.
Yeah, in
Ramen.
Vegas,
Why
right?
culinary?
Okay, so that's a deep question. So so my mom is a chef.
By what kind of
trade.
chef? What kind of chef was
Filipino
she?
chef.
Oh, dope.
So she had a bakery or a baker more. Like if you were to like denote the different percentages, she's like 70% baker, 30% chef.
What's the favorite thing your mom baked for you?
Great question.
Like,
Baked. I have a leche flan in my freezer that I'm keeping for like a special occasion. For I guess overall for the family.
Like a podcast.
Exactly.
speaking of which, let's bring it out. Shout out to Auntie. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know it's okay. Her pulver run is like overall the best.
Whoa!
But she makes everything. I mean, like it's very singular, but she bakes a lot of great Filipino food. So that was my introduction to all Filipino food.
And for the 30%, what's your favorite Filipino dish that she makes?
A consensus of what everybody has said is her chicken adobo.
But what about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck the consensus.
Like, it's your birthday and she's cooking dinner for you.
And you have 3 frozen leche flans in the freezer.
Ready to go.
Shoot. Probably just her sinigang, yeah.
Oh,
What kind is it? Pork? Is it
Yeah,
shrimp?
it's pork. A baboy.
You
Yeah.
speaking his
Ribs,
language,
right?
dog. You speaking
Ribs.
Gus's language.
Come on, man. Nah,
I like it simple. I like my pork a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too, but
my
it doesn't
favorite
like, it doesn't
animal.
like me as
Yeah,
much.
it's a one-way relationship for a couple of us on the pod. So you're saying that your mom, right? Your mom is a 70% Filipino baker, 30% Filipino.
Chef. Not that
yeah.
she's 30% cook.
But if you were
not-
to, yeah, right.
Not that like the 30% is that she only cooks 30% for us.
Yeah.
But like as a business person.
Right. So go on. So that's was that kind of like your doorway into foods?
A lot of summers and after schools, spend at the cafe or
Yeah,
restaurant.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousins were like, my mom had a restaurant. My cousins were at the school down the alley. So we have alleys back in Chicago.
Oh, y'all were slinging lumpia.
And like I would sleep on like the rice flour or like the bags of flour. It wasn't rice flour, but bags of flour. I would go there. Me and my cousins would all hang out over there, which was like super cool because my aunt also worked there. So it was a very family building experience for sure.
Ballpark. How many lumpia do you think you've rolled in your lifetime?
10,000.
You're a master lumpia roller.
Yeah, well, that's lumpia / egg rolls, like across the board.
Sariwa as well.
What's that?
Yeah, lost me.
Lumpia sariwa. That's the vegetable lumpia.
No.
Oh, I didn't know there was a name for
I
it.
never ate. No.
What the fuck?
No.
What about
I'll feed it to somebody. I don't eat it.
Lupanisa? You ever heard of
I had
Lupanisa?
lupanisa, dog. That's
I love
lumpia
that
with
shit.
longanisa
Yeah,
in it.
Yo, I got it. That's a portmanteau. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
That's like Shai Zakaiza.
Yeah, Shai Zakaiya, yeah.
Yeah,
It
man.
is Zakaiya, Chicago. Wow. You
Anyways.
Yeah,
So your parent, your mom, right? Filipino chef.
Yeah.
And was that kind of what catapulted you through to do this?
So around the time where I decided I want to go to culinary school, I already went to 2 colleges. I went to Syracuse, I went to DePaul, and I was back home in Chicago, and I was like,
Did you finish? Got the degree?
no, I have no degree. I have no college degree.
So you spent like a year there,
A year in
kind of
Syracuse, and a year at DePaul, and I was lost.
Finding, right?
Yeah, I've been lost, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people that go into cooking are still trying to find themselves somehow,
Ooh, that's
some
a-
way.
That's
sure.
a bar. That's a
Yeah.
bar. Yeah.
So then
Jameson's working right now.
I was like, exactly. That's what I needed.
Thank you, Jameson.
Yeah. But anyways, at one point I had this huge fever, and I was just like shivering, and I was like going in my bathtub, and I was like pouring hot water.
Yeah.
And my dad picked me up, and I was like shivering in there. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with my life? It's stuff like that. I was 20.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, just go to culinary school, whatever. I like to party. I like bars. I like clubs. Like all that shit.
Right.
So I want to get into the industry somehow, some way. Maybe the back door will work.
Right.
So I go to culinary school. I'll ask my mom. I'm like, which culinary school should I go to?
Yeah.
Because I've never researched it. Like, and the internet wasn't as profound as it is today.
Yeah, which chat room did you check out? Yeah, which chat room did you check out to see where you should go?
Bay Area Asians.
Hey, Asian Avenue, you ain't helping me with shit with my career.
My dragon background isn't attracting the right people.
Yo, this Zango page sucks.
Exactly.
Was it like Shy Flip Boy? Was it your screen name?
AZN Corrupt was it? My 410.
Yeah, Chef.
Whatever your zip code was. That's how we got down.
Chef Boy Hardy.
Oh.
So okay, so you got
That was a good one.
Thank you.
I got like that
You.
one.
You caught that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So you had this fever. You for some reason this fever made you figure out what to do with your life.
Well, it was like,
This is pre-COVID, Joe.
sure, like,
I don't know.
it didn't just make me like understand what I want to do with my life. It was just another step of, I guess, a larger conversations of avoidance, constantly like moving from here to here to here to here.
Right.
I jumped a lot of ships.
Yeah.
I kept jumping from here to here, from New York to Vegas to back to Chicago to here.
Well, this is prior to you going to culinary school.
Yeah, it was.
Ah.
It led up to culinary school, and then went to culinary school. After I asked my mom,
Right.
and then
You ended up back
just
in
did well.
Then you ended up back in Vegas
And
in
then
New York.
Chicago, yeah, exactly. No. All that traveling was after culinary school, but going from Syracuse to DePaul to culinary school to New York to like it was just all avoidance. Like in the grand scheme of things, like if I could have just stayed still for
Like 1
more
second.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
More, 1 second, 1 month, like a year.
Yeah.
And then also like taking in that my surroundings, I probably could have figured out a different life for myself.
Like you wouldn't be here, like with a.
Yeah, would it
Ramen,
be really
yeah.
uncomfortable, like sitting in between two guys?
Two handsome men. You said
yeah,
you
exactly.
got that handsome. But what you're saying
Smell
that
like hamburger meat here.
that's not my fault. Actually, it is my fault. I'm sorry. So you're saying that if you just took a second to pause and just reflect, you wouldn't have gone to culinary school,
Yeah.
which is crazy. And I think that's a crazy fucking statement. The reason why is because I did my fair share of research, and you have been a part of restaurants in Vegas. Right, you've owned and operated numerous restaurants in Chicago. Right, there is Shizakaya, which is a combination of Chicago and izakaya. You have Japanese. How do you pronounce it?
Yeah. Japanese or izakaya?
No, the other one, Japanese or something.
Oh, Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese. And then you also have jellyfish. And then you also have.
Hold on, let's take a step back.
Yeah, sorry.
Because like you're really diving in.
Yeah, sorry.
I want to give a full landscape of what's happening. So the first restaurant you opened, what kind of restaurant was it? Where was it located?
First restaurant I opened or
Yeah.
first restaurant I worked at?
You opened.
As I've only opened one in Chicago that I've owned, but I've opened a lot of other restaurants. If you want to go
please.
back then.
Yeah.
First restaurant I opened was in New York, and it was called Japanese. So I worked at the one in Chicago, and then they were opening one in New York. So
What was the food? Just only Japanese and
it was
what
contemporary Japanese. Yeah.
What is contemporary Japanese?
Contemporary Japanese is the same thing as contemporary American. It's like whatever the fuck you want, but
Yeah.
as long as it has some of the
Yeah.
same flavors as what you expect from a certain cuisine.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I say contemporary, it's just like
Fancy shit.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
flowers on your
doesn't have-
plate?
it may be more expensive, but it doesn't have to be fancy. It just
Okay.
has to be different, which I hate the word, but a little bit more thought out when it comes to presentation, when it comes to certain ingredients, but the same underlying like theme is the same, like soy sauce, like the sushi rice and all that stuff.
Yeah, contemporary is just kind of like, I guess, an umbrella term, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you were to look at something here in the Bay, you would say that like.
Hella.
Yeah, exactly. That's hella Japanese, dog.
Japanese.
It's not, but it's hella Japanese. And then he'd be like, yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Soy sauce,
I see that.
Soy sauce, check. ramen noodles.
Hella contemporary, dog.
Yeah.
So you go ahead.
And you opened that one. What was the next restaurant that you?
So open up that one, then help open up their Japanese in Vegas, and then I was already in Vegas, and I wanted to like leave there. So then there was a fine dining restaurant called Charlie Trotter's, which actually grew up by I drove by it a lot growing up.
What kind of restaurant was that?
It was one of the first fine dining restaurants in America, and that's like it's hard to explain, but it's like say you do like 12 courses, which is normal nowadays. You do
An omakase.
yeah, omakase, tasting menu, whatever you want. And you know the techniques and the thought behind it are very similar across the board.
Okay.
But then if you eat there the next day, you get a whole new 12 courses. But if you eat there the next day, you get a whole new 12 courses. So it wasn't just creating the course for the menu. It was also for the experience that you would create something that's new and also whimsical.
Okay.
So we were given the opportunity to change things on the fly.
Oh, that's dope.
Hey, like table 2, he's been here within the last since we changed the menu. So he's had this menu before. What do we have to create a whole new menu for him?
On the fly?
On the fly.
Wow.
The night of.
That's dope.
And I'd be like, I've been working on like these mushrooms over here, and I can like recreate this dish into something new for them, and on and on and on.
Dope.
So that's where a lot of the whimsy and everything that we were able to create.
Would you say that you're classically trained?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know a lot. Yeah,
I love the confidence.
I think it's
I don't know.
You went to school for it though, right?
Classic,
No, but see, I think
classic in Chinese, classic in Japanese, Filipino. Like, what does classically
I have
trained
no
mean?
clue. I mean, like, I guess I don't know shit about culinary, right? But I do know a shit about you.
What do you mean by classically
Well, I
trained?
mean, like, what are the different ways of being classically trained? Would you say that I noticed that your wheelhouse is Japanese, right?
Yes.
So would you say that you've been classically trained in Japanese?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I think Japanese,
How does one
French,
get
and
that?
Italian. How does one get just experience?
Okay.
And you can get the wrong experience and not be trained in certain things, just like anything else.
Okay.
So yeah,
I
am
respect that.
classically trained in Japanese and as well as aspects of French and Italian as well.
Right.
And Filipino.
And Filipino from my mom.
But that's ingrained in you though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's classically trained.
He's a classic man.
So,
Exactly.
which restaurant did we leave off? Charlie Trotter's.
Trotters, big name. And then went back to Chicago, trying to figure out myself again. And then I literally took like 3-4 months off. And then a new restaurant was like, hey, they're opening up. Somebody that I knew was like, they're opening up a new restaurant. Are you willing to work there? I'm like, sure. Like I'll try. I'll figure out what they're doing, and then I'll figure that out. It's called Sunda. It's still there.
Japanese also?
No, Pan Asian.
What is Pan Asian?
Pan Asian is just anything on the Pacific Rim towards Asia.
Rice and shit.
Exactly.
Yo, can I get
Vietnam.
exactly? Yo, if they have like a rice and shit section on the menu.
Their goal is to take like the iconic dishes of all these different countries and try to put it together.
So
Noodles and shit.
Yeah. The crazy thing about these restaurants is that it wasn't just I worked at this restaurant, that restaurant. Like they actually did really well.
yeah.
Like one of the restaurants, I saw Jordan, I saw Mariah Carey, I saw.
Who's the goat?
Patrick Ewing.
Jordan's the goat, by the way.
Yeah,
Facts.
he's the goat.
Yeah.
Facts.
He tips okay and everything.
Facts.
Jordan
He
right
tips
there.
okay, right?
Yeah,
Size
I saw
13, dog.
Brad and Angelina when they went to that
Oh,
restaurant.
hey.
And then, like,
Brangelina?
yeah, and when I was at Sunda, I saw Pharrell. I saw
Yeah.
just so many people there.
Do you give them like a different amuse bouches, or do you give them like do you comp them dishes?
I
Like what do you
did.
do?
I thought I was gonna get on their radar by doing that shit.
And they're
but
like,
it did not
"This
work.
cool." Yeah, exactly. They're,
did not
they're probably
work.
they're like probably too high.
Yeah,
They didn't
exactly.
give a fuck. Shit.
When there was something that was supposed to be ran to Jordan like downstairs, I was like,
Yeah.
I'll run that shit, and I grabbed it and I like went down the elevator for the restaurant.
You like practicing at the
There you
end.
go. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Walked away. Like didn't even say hi.
Went back to his craps game.
Yeah, I was in awe, and I thought that's what it meant to be successful. Also, as around
At that point in time.
bring I literally so many famous people. Even when I was at Charlie Trotter's in Vegas, I met just like so many like Daniel Boulud. I met
Yeah, like,
Thomas Keller, of course.
Right.
Yeah, I met Joel Robuchon, who's a chef of the century. I met so many people.
Yeah.
and I thought that's what it meant to
So
be
I
successful.
want to run down a couple of things, okay? Because
Yeah.
you're saying you're talking about thoughts of being successful, right? So here we see that you have a best new bone marrow dish and that was dubbed by Grub Street in March 2011, right?
2011.
2011.
Wow.
You also got Best Ramen by Urban Belly, and that's at You Show, and that was in 2014.
Yeah.
Right? You got The Best Thing I Ate at Lollapalooza, and that's in 2012.
The Japa dog.
Yeah.
What's a Japa dog, please?
Just a hot dog that's... So you know the okonomiyaki, by chance?
No idea, bro.
So
Yo, bro.
You speaking Japanese to me?
dog, I get taquitos at 7-Eleven, bro. Relax, all right?
Sushi Rito was my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Let me know what time it is right now.
Let me get the crab with the mayo, all right?
Yeah, this was like Lollapalooza 2012, right? It was a while ago.
Yeah.
But just like a bacon wrapped hot dog, and then, of course, toasted, like, poppy seed bun. And then on top is what you would put on top of the takoyaki right here, which is Kewpie mayo, some like the takoyaki sauce, which is basically unagi sauce with extra Worcestershire, and then like pickled ginger, scallions, nori.
On a dog, huh?
On a hot dog.
What kind of dog did you
At
use, Nathan's?
Lollapalooza.
What kind of dog did you use?
100% all beef.
Was it a patty?
Yeah. It was not a patty.
It's like a forced-thrown.
It was not a patty.
So just to go over a couple more.
Vienna beef is what it was, yeah.
Top 15 ramen restaurants in America in 2015. Michelin Guide, Bib Gourmand, and that's in 2015 as well.
That was a good one.
Star Chef's Rising Chef Award.
These are flowers right now, y'all. If
In
you're
2015,
not catching
right?
up, these are flowers right
2015, Ramenwell SF is on the Michelin Guide. One of the few ramen restaurants that's on there. And we're looking at you right now. And it's not that you were confident, but tell them you really just don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. Like, I
go.
There's a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
I do
now.
give
What
a fuck,
is it
but I don't
about
give
the
a
not giving a fuck? What is it about that? Like, what is that to you? Not giving a fuck.
I used I used to give a fuck. And it affected me a lot.
Being in a big kitchen and then the head chef yelling at you because you had to care what he thought?
No, that's fine. Like I go to sleep that in those days I went to sleep wondering if my prep list was done, what I had to do the next day, like how many, like did I put the right order in and all that stuff. Today for that type of stuff, when I'm the head chef or I'm running the kitchen, it's judgment. Like there's a couple of fears out there. There's fears of failure. There's fear of success, and there's fear of judgment. And that fear of judgment was what was taking over. A couple nights ago, I read a bad review and I couldn't go to sleep. And that happens all the time. And I haven't, and that wasn't on Yelp, but I don't read Yelp. I haven't read a Yelp review in about 16 months.
And then just to be fair, like Yelp, and this is this conversation that you and I had prior that like you have all of these accolades. You have a thriving ramen restaurant, but I
said no green onions.
but it's kind of slowly killing you, right?
No,
This one right now?
Well,
this one's building me up.
I mean,
come on, man.
well, here's
Build me a buttercup.
Here's the thing, right? And I want to ask how this affected you, right?
Yeah.
So the pandemic, right? The pandemic was one of the hardest things that America or everyone, the entire world has had to face. You had just become a new business owner, right? At that point in time, you felt like you had to carry your staff with their livelihood.
You're about 2 years in, right? During the pandemic?
About 1 1/4.
Okay.
It's like 1.5. Like very new.
Like as you said, just getting your bearings still, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Just hitting our stride.
Right. And so now you have to shift focus, right? Before it used to be trying to like be masterful with dishes, but now you have to try to figure out how to get your staff paid.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to, as a small business owner, you have to figure out how to take care of your people. And that's the beauty about all the small business owners around the whole nation.
Right.
Like it's not just we're trying to open up a business to make money for our family. We employ people that actually, and we have to look out for not only their livelihood, but the livelihood that they affect as well.
So let me ask you this question, because I did come across a GoFundMe page that you had started for the staff, and I know you, and I'm assuming, and I know that was done with good intention, but it never hit its mark.
No, it was an attempt. It was an attempt to see how much we can build for our staff.
Yeah.
Which was, it never hit its mark, but we were able to pass down what we got.
Yeah.
Right,
And
right,
that was
right.
the goal.
Right.
And the mark was just like some presumptuous number that we put up there.
Right.
And it wasn't that much.
Yeah.
But we, and at the beginning of it, we're like, we don't know what's going to happen in the next month or 2 months or the next week.
It was almost just testing the
Yeah.
waters. Yeah. And I think I point that out just to kind of show where your mentality is now, right? It's more so focused on the staff. It's more so focused on the people.
That's a why not to me. Why wouldn't you do that for your staff?
Which one?
You know, like the GoFundMe page. You know what I mean? I think that's dope.
I think that not a lot of people are like that.
I'm not the biggest fan of GoFundMe.
Oh yeah?
I'm not the biggest fan of crowdsourcing funds from other people. I don't think that it's wrong, but I want to try to prevent myself from getting to that situation. So nowadays I try to figure out how to set our company up in which we don't have to, not only our company but also my life and also my you know my family. I don't want I don't want someone to pass away and then I have to put a GoFundMe out there for their funeral. Like I want to set up ourselves where if somebody that I love passes away, that I am
everything's lined
very
up.
close to, that they're lined up.
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel it.
For sure.
1,000%.
And you know, we're all a little bit older, and I'm sure our parents are a little bit older, so this makes more sense.
He is the only person that's in their 30s in the room, though. But it's okay.
I know, but we all get a little older, right?
April 10th, 3 more weeks. 3 more weeks.
So how long have you been in the Bay?
I've been going on 8 years, so about like 7.5, I guess you guys say.
And you're a big White Sox fan, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So what we do here on FREE99 is that
99.
we like to set up a little game for our guest. And this game,
Are there prizes? Like what
the
type of
prize
game
is that you feel
bragging rights.
good about your bragging rights. I don't think there's a lot of people who's actually answered a majority of these questions right.
No.
So
wait, they don't answer them right? So there's a right or wrong answer?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a quiz, bro.
Okay.
Okay, so this and it's a different like topic. This game is called Bean Bay, as in the bean in Chicago.
Okay.
And the Bay.
Being,
Sorry.
oh, been there, done that, yeah.
Bean Bay. Yeah. All right, relax. All right, just relax. All right. Okay. Who is a football player who is the Chicago Bears franchise all-time leading scorer, who currently plays for the 49ers?
Oh, Robbie Gold.
Robbie Gold. That's correct.
I don't like these questions. I really don't like these questions. Yeah, he's the shit.
Yeah, Robbie Gold's the Chicago's franchise leading scorer.
We were all pissed when he left, and then they get the double dong, whatever.
Yeah.
Like we're like, this is what you do. When what the fuck was that? Anyways,
Yeah, dude, that's good.
yeah, I still don't like these questions, but go ahead.
All right, next one is Mike Ditka, Michael Jordan, and Harry Carey are Chicago legends who all share the same Yelp score for their respective restaurants.
Yeah.
Can you guess what that score is?
3.5. 3?
2.5.
It's a 4.
Really?
They have 4s. They're all rocking with 4s, and Michael Jordan has the most.
Cologne.
Yeah, he has
He
Cologne.
doesn't even have a restaurant anymore.
I thought he has a steakhouse.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. I guess I'm more Chicago.
Yeah, you know Chicago or
See how he said it,
when you
though?
leave Chicago,
Definitely not with
Chicago
Chicago.
and come back and do stuff like that. Like I don't think it's Chicago anymore.
All right, 2 more questions. All right, Steve Kerr, championship coach for the Warriors. Championship coach for the Warriors. Won 3 championships with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Which Chicago Bulls player was traded to the Golden State Warriors in the 95 season?
95 season?
Yeah.
I don't know this shit. This is a deep cut.
This is a deep ass cut.
It's a deep cut. I don't know.
I don't know.
BJ Armstrong.
Shut up! He was the
yeah,
first,
we
number
did
10? Oh, shit.
We did have BJ.
Yeah, he
He
went
was
here
one of
before
my first
He
jerseys.
came here before Steve Kerr, dog.
He's one of your
Oh
first,
my
number
God.
10. Yeah, it's one of your first jerseys.
Number 10. He was one
Yo,
of my
he's somewhere
first
spinning in
jerseys.
his grave. He's still alive though.
He was a cutie back then.
Yeah, he was a cutie, man.
You can put him in your pocket.
All the girls in my grade loved him.
All right, this is the last one, and it's not sports related. It's about a rapper who was born in Chicago and raised in Oakland, okay? So, this activist, movie producer, screenwriter, rapper was raised in the Bay, but was born in Chicago. Sorry to bother you, but can you name this talented artist?
I don't know his name.
You know who I'm talking about? Though?
Yeah.
Spit a bar,
Sorry
spit
to
a bar.
bother you. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah,
The
so
movie.
I don't know any of his music, but he made that movie. Sorry to bother you. It's Boots Riley from The Coup.
Oh.
Yeah, Boots Riley.
Boots Riley.
Boots.
Okay.
Riley.
You got me on
R.I.P.
that
Pam
one.
the Funktress.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
no
R.I.P.
idea.
Pam the
R.I.P.
Funktress.
Pam the Funktress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the game.
That's the game. So, I mean, we have to talk about food, man.
Could you explain what you brought us today again?
I think you lit that? Yeah, I can see it.
I'm just looking.
So,
Dig
dig in.
Yeah,
Let's dig in.
just snack some of it.
So,
Sure.
I like. What was the first thing that you remember making for your mom that she was like, "This is good"?
I still haven't made that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is almost like your biggest critic, though, right? Because like making food for the family, especially mom who owned like. So your
Yeah.
mom had a restaurant and like a turo turo. Mm-hmm. It's where it was like cantina with a bakery.
Yeah. It was a steam table with all like the little dishes. Like you got like 2 scoops of rice or 1 scoop of rice. Do you want two
Oolong, whatever
oolong,
meats.
whatever. Yeah, do you want
Nice.
2 or 3? Yeah, absolutely. And then there was like the case in the front with like the cakes and the rolls and all that stuff.
What was your mom's number one seller? Like it was always gonna be on rotation. Not what she would make for you, but what did well. Like
The mamon, I'd say.
oh,
I don't see that a lot around here. I see.
sponge cake.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
What do they have? Mamon? I think
Yeah.
no,
The
they have red
mamon.
ribbon. Red
It was
ribbon.
good. It's good.
Yeah, red ribbon has mamon.
I see enchilada a lot with the cheese and all that stuff.
And
but I
the
don't see
ham.
mamon. Yeah.
The ham, cheese and ham, and like butter on the ensamada. You know what you do with that shit though? You gotta twist it and you gotta eat that shit like a sandwich.
top.
Yeah.
You gotta turn it around. You
I
know
do
what I
that
mean?
to
You
all
lick
my
them up and
cupcakes,
top on
dog.
top.
Yeah.
No, I was the one who like dipping in butter, dipping in like sugar, like dipping in like.
Oh,
like,
you were
and
the
then I was
dipper.
also the one like shaving
Grating
all
the cheese.
cheddar cheese. Yeah. for
Did you
sure.
ever fuck up your knuckles on the cheese grater?
A little bit, yeah, but I think the slicer, like, or the
Oh.
mandolin in the kitchen is even worse.
Everyone talks about the mandolin and how like that's the
It's the
worst.
most dangerous.
Yo,
Like,
look,
the
at the
Mandalorian.
look on your face,
Yeah.
dog. You're like, it's the most dangerous. I was like, is it really?
Like, you don't want me
Yeah,
to-
exactly.
Yeah, like I've seen my knuckle on a mandolin. It's like,
Holy shit!
yeah, it's like, well, that happened.
How much did that dish sell for?
I remember getting that close because
throwing it at me?
like a meat slicer. I used to work for this. I was a catering manager for a barbecue restaurant, and they had ball tip, and it's called Kinder's. It's over in the East Bay. So they would cook it, and then they would slice it while it's hot, and then we put that shit on a slicer. And if you're not paying attention, like just pew, like I've never got that close though, because I've always been scared. Hey, could you slice the ball tip for me, guys? Hey, yeah,
You should,
I'll be
you
over here.
should.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a 5.
And if you want to go back to back in the day and nowadays, back in the day, it'd be like, get as much as you can. Nowadays, I'll tell my staff, like, if you think it's too close, put that somewhere else.
Yeah.
Don't risk your fingers and all that stuff.
Use the mandolin.
yeah, and use this mandolin. Like, that's not sharp that I'm giving right now. It's dull as fuck. No, like that's the difference between back then and now. Like before, we used to put our bodies on the line. Now it's like, don't do that. It's not worth it. We'll do something. We'll figure out what else to do with that little piece of meat that you're left over. We'll change it. We
Yeah.
are creative enough in which we don't have to put your health and your your shit on the line.
What's the craziest like injury you've seen in the
Yeah,
kitchen?
I was gonna ask you that.
Injury?
Yeah.
Um,
Besides like seeing like the sous chef beat up somebody or something.
I mean, somebody cut. I mean, like, okay, so for me, probably so I'm paying attention to myself. So
Yeah.
2 injuries that I had.
Oh, your own. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be me. One injury, there was a rondo, which is basically like a pan with like straight sides, and I was putting a pork belly down. Except, no one told me to put. I now know to put the pork belly that way, or any fish that you're like putting in.
Yeah, not like
In the
Yeah,
oil.
not like this way. Yeah,
Yeah,
not
splash
like this
it-
way.
splash
so
away.
it splashed this way. It got on my arm.
Oh fuck.
I had my towel in my hand, and I just wiped all my skin away.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then I looked at my towel, and like my skin was in there. That was bad. And
What'd you do then?
there's
You
still
just wrap it in saran wrap?
Yeah. I was listening to your other podcast. It was something similar to like one of your other shows.
No, it's okay. We're on video too. Let me see the shit. Let me see.
It's somewhere in there. I forget which one it is, but
Damn.
my scars aren't that bad anymore.
The kitchen burns.
You should have seen my scars before, like
Your wife got kitchen burns, huh, Jen? You can tell, like, she's a baker by trade.
all over.
Yeah.
The
I
other
hated that.
one,
You got some muscular forearms too. I just want to point that out.
the other one is right here. So I was carving a ribeye that was aged, and when it's aged, it's like a lot more. There's a lot of moisture gets out of it, so
Right.
it's a lot more sticky. And you hold the knife.
Was it cooked already? Or
No.
raw?
It was aged. It was raw.
Okay.
I was turning it into or portioning it. So I was cutting it like this, and it got stuck a little bit. And some guy was like running around like saying in my ear, and it slipped, and it like hit right here.
Oh,
And
shit.
it was so close to my
Vein?
veins. You can see right there. the weird, not weird, but I guess the part that still shocks me today.
I'm shocked today too.
Is that so when it hit, it was my boning knife, so it was like very sharp. When it hit, you can see the flesh on the inside, and it was, and I don't know if you've ever cut down to like into flesh, but it doesn't bleed yet.
Yeah, we have pretty bad IS injuries.
It's white first.
Yeah, it's white first,
Yeah,
and then you see the blood start to like creep in, right?
Yeah.
So the chef at the time,
When that happens, I'm like this. I'm like, like in Christ.
And then like you're about to throw up.
I gotta go home.
so the chef at the time looked at it and he's like, "You got two things. You can either put a bandage on it and go back to work, and like everything will be fine, but you'll have a nasty, nasty scar, or we can go to the hospital. They'll stitch it up. You're like, a very little scar and this and that." And I'm like, I still got to work.
Oh, you're the Ronnie Lott of the
I
kitchen.
called my dad. He drove there because he's a doctor.
Oh, shout out to Pop.
He
Should
looked
have led
at
with
it.
that, dog.
He's like, I can't do anything about it. Like, yeah, we can just butterfly it. So he brought a butterfly bandage
Yeah.
and put it together. I wrapped it up, and then I went back to work.
Back to service.
That's crazy that you have like a on-call team doctor.
That's the only time I called him. I'm like, I don't want to leave work.
Yeah.
I was actually a head butcher at that time because I was like tired of being a chef. I was like, I just want to fucking break down meat.
This is a fat
Yeah.
piece of katsu right here.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. Like, eat it up
Oh,
for sure. Yeah, that was my favorite job. Like to just get a knife and break down fish and break down like half pigs and like lamb and all that stuff and chickens.
Oh, like filet.
Yeah, are you a good
Everything.
zaboner?
Yeah. Oh, I'm a great boner.
Pass me that
Deboner. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Boner Simpson.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse me.
I mean, all of these dishes, obviously, you've had experience creating numerous Japanese dishes, especially like ramen. But
Yeah.
do you have like a test kitchen? I'm assuming
No.
no, or do you test out like new recipes or different things? Gus, you okay, buddy? Mm-hmm. How are we thinking? Fuck these accolades or what?
So with all these, most of them were work in progress. So
So you're still working on them?
no, I mean they're done right now. But
Okay.
with my team right now, like I know that I'm not an island, and I try not to be.
Yeah.
So when this came up, this was like 100% different than when we first opened. Same with this ramen. So the mushroom ramen is actually one of our first recognized ramens at all because
Yeah.
there were a lot of vegetarians, vegans in the
Yeah.
mission.
There
And I was
sure
like,
are.
No, yeah, there sure are. And I'm not a vegetarian or vegan, and I don't even
You don't
eat
say.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I eat a lot of meat. I eat meat and I eat a lot of it. But all of a sudden, like we kept refining, and then all of a sudden, like our mushroom ramen just like kicked off, and people just started coming for that.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, we're good on that. So I asked my team, I'm like,
Move forward.
what do you like about this? What don't you like?
Yeah.
Is this too salty? Is this too sweet? Is this like too sour? Is this like, there's just every single question, every single day under the sun. And then all of a sudden it started to hit and people started loving it. And I don't like sweet a lot because I think I'm from Chicago. So like,
Yeah.
I think I'm from Chicago, but I think that because
Y'all
I'm
think
from
I'm sweet out
Chicago,
Yeah. The only sweet out here we like are these these neon onions, dog.
but like I've never imagined putting like a sweet sauce on the braised pork belly.
Yeah.
But then I saw, and as soon as I started to understand the clientele around the area,
Yeah.
I was like, I think they like it a little bit sweeter.
Y'all
out
a
here.
little sweet around
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Chicago likes a little bit more sour, a little bit more like
Yeah.
more like pickles and shit like that.
So I remember when you first opened, you were having your pork belly. Was
Smoked.
it smoked by 4505?
Yeah, 4505 meats. We were getting the pork
Great
belly.
chicharrones.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. When we were getting the pork belly, we were brining it ourselves, and then we were drying it out, and then we were sending it out to 4505, and they were smoking it for however 13 hours, 14 hours, and then they were coming back, and then we were slicing it.
Was that firewood smoke?
It was mesquite, yeah.
Mesquite, yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer applewood, but they only have mesquite over there. But what had happened was
What happened was, go ahead.
people were like, "What is this American barbecue like and ramen?" I'm like, "Well, fuck it, dude."
And you're like, I'm trying to help y'all, bitch.
Yeah, I'm like, so then I'll just like,
The most
this.
non-purist purist.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm just gonna fucking make Japanese food
Yeah.
like I know
Good
it,
food,
and
right.
that's it, and just try not to push any envelopes, and that's why you're like, oh, like you just stop caring about all these like accolade or like people like talking all about all this shit. I'm just like, yeah, I'm fucking over it. I'm just gonna produce food which I think that this person is gonna like because we all come together and we all figure out what is wrong and what is right as a team, and then we just move forward with that. Like,
did you make the sauce?
No.
What was that? What was that?
I was wondering.
Is that it?
No, it's good. It's good. It's good sauce.
So what it is that as a business owner,
no time for that shit.
No, yeah, I want to spend more time with my family. And before, you know, growing up in or like working in a lot of restaurants, especially in Chicago and like the certain areas, they expect you to make everything.
Yeah.
Like
only reason why I
shit
asked
on you if you don't make it
is because I know how to make this.
Is it ketchup? What is that? Soy sauce, like garlic,
apple cider vinegar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kinders.
Yeah. No. It was sweet, and I was like, does he make this? I think Jen had a question. Do you have a question, Jen?
Oh, I wanted to kind of geek out about the broth times. I always love discussing that. It's like
yeah, for sure. So
and also like the mix. Like I've seen that
the mix of what
online. Like do you mix like old to new?
We don't
to
do
like
that.
three different days.
You don't marry.
We don't marry. We don't mix old to new. We try to use as much as we can because especially because of our storage system. We don't mix old to new because depending on how it's treated, the old bacteria can go into the new bacteria, and then it automatically starts its old bacteria at that point. So it's like it can multiply super fast.
That makes sense.
I watch Kitchen Rescue.
So the mushroom broth is only 45 minutes.
Restaurant impossible.
The pork broth is 20 hours. So with the pork broth, we boil the bones first to get out a lot of the gunk from the blood. It goes and it gets rinsed off all the like when you cook like anything. Or when you cook anything in water, any meat in water, like the foam.
Oh yeah, right.
The scum. The scum, yeah. So you take all this scum out. Somebody rinses out every single bone off, and then they get a stick and they like circle out all the bone marrow, and they put it back into the broth, and then that gets cooked. Well, that gets all the other stuff like pig's feet, and then the aromatics, and then that gets cooked for 20 hours. Then because it takes that much time to take all the flavor out of those bones,
so do you have a pot simmering right now as we speak?
Yeah, probably. Ooh, I don't have it on my Ring camera, but
yeah, I was like, do you have a wise camera pointed at that shit? I got a camera pointed at my dog. I got a camera pointed at the pot.
Every night, like we are super fortunate because in the beginning it was like literally my purveyor was like, oh, we're gonna just get one delivery this week, and then it was like, oh, 2 deliveries this week, 3 deliveries this week, 4 deliveries this week, 5 deliveries this week of bones. So I'm just like, that's the indicator. That's one of the like.
And they're like, I'll just get a dog.
It's popping.
That's one of the KPIs of like how well are we doing. The more we're doing broth, the better we're doing. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I didn't expect us to do this well, but you guys have to make broth every single fucking day. And not only that, but the next day, you don't just strain the broth.
Right.
We take the whole thing. We put in a 2.5, 3-quart blender.
Okay.
3-quart blender. We put in a blender, and then put into another. Get that put into a blender. Blend it up, blend all the fat, blend all the marrow, blend all the collagen, and then to make it smooth. So every single freaking day, somebody's sitting there with the blender. We don't just turn on like the spigot and strain it all out.
I hella feel
it's
that.
It's a lot of fucking.
I hella
work.
feel that because my girlfriend doesn't like
labor of love.
Yeah, she dumps the soup out of a cup of noodle, and I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Put an egg in there, put it in the microwave, let it.
And I get how we can relate.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
Same.
totally the same, dog.
Yeah.
Totally.
Hella same, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like the whole process of everything, it kind of has to be thought out, being that you are kind of like the owner and director of the restaurant and head chef and all that.
Yeah,
stuff, right?
for sure. But it doesn't have to be completely thought out by the owner director.
Yeah, but
Like,
you do.
There's a great team.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And like you said, you're
could
not
do
an
this
island.
here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can. Well, here, guess what? We have a huge ass pot now.
Exactly. We just brought this pot and some bones. Can you make some broth for us?
It all makes sense now too, because I think was it a little bit after the pandemic you were doing special menus and you did one with your mom, right?
Yeah, actually, she was in town, and and that was literally during a time that we were still trying to pick ourselves up.
Yeah.
Pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. And I was like, what if
Bootstrap
we do,
Bill.
Yeah, exactly.
How did that feel? I mean, like, kind of like collaborating with your mom.
It didn't matter if we made money.
But that was tight, right?
Yeah.
That's like...
How many times did she tell you she was? How many times did she tell you were wrong?
Oh, every time.
Don't
Yeah.
do it like this. Do this.
The fact that she had to live with us at the same time was the hardest part.
Why is this here?
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah.
she put this
Harold,
I'm like,
what's for
"Mom,
dinner?
you-
You're like, I don't know, Mom. What's for
Mom,
dinner?
you are a mess in our kitchen. Like she's like, it was like very different freaking vibes, very very different like upbringings in the kitchen as well.
Yeah.
But doing it, I was hoping to get a following
Yeah.
of Filipino food in SF, but secretly my intention was just to spend more time with my mom.
That's fucking beautiful, man.
Dope.
Yeah.
That is super
feel-
beautiful.
I have a question. So I think you mentioned your wife's Vietnamese.
Mm-hmm.
Do you put hoisin and soy sauce, hoisin and red chili sauce inside your
sriracha?
broth?
I do, yeah.
Inside directly in the broth.
Yeah.
and
Do
you
it,
let-
yeah. She keeps on the side of the little dish and dips her meat, and I'm just like, well, I don't want my meat. Anyways, yeah.
No,
we
okay.
each have our own, right?
I think because we're not Vietnamese.
What do you do?
Yeah, no, I just dump it inside.
I was just like,
yeah, I just dump it inside.
even the little plastic thing, if there's still some in there, I'll dip that shit in there and scoop it into like...
I just put it around the rim and I
Yeah.
scoop it as I
It's
swoop.
like a fun margarita. It's like a little salt, fish
Margarita.
sauce on the end. Yeah.
No, because they be fucking
Lines.
rationing that shit at any Vietnamese restaurant, right? Like, I can have some more sauce, or like it's in there, and you see the small, tiny ass cup, dog.
The one over here
With the
gives,
lid off.
gives you the hoisin and the red the sriracha already mixed in together, and it's like,
Really?
Yeah. You don't know me, even though that's exactly what you're gonna do.
yeah, you don't know
Yeah.
me. I like I don't like sriracha. I rather have like the chilies, like the grounded chilies. Yeah, that's what you know.
Options are good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, what about Mexican food? We always talk about Mexican food here.
That is
What about
that
Mexican?
is our
What
hot,
about Mexican
Yeah,
food?
that's
yeah.
What
our-
about the Mexican food?
that's our like square pizzas. That's our like yeah, Mexican food for in Cali. That's like our I think about after club food, as far as like.
Yeah.
What do you kind of like? New York would be like, well, halal, right? The
Yeah, a slice of pizza or whatever.
or grazed papaya, whatever.
Yeah. I have to club food. Definitely Chinatown. We have a super small Chinatown though. It's literally like 2 streets. It's super tiny. But our Mexican
not much of a
community
town,
is
but-
huge. It's
In-
one of the
in
biggest.
Chicago?
It's one of the biggest in America, yeah, for sure.
Bigger than shit.
It's close to LA.
Bigger than New Mexico?
Yeah.
No, wait.
Not New Mexican.
There's a New Mexico.
Wait,
Yeah.
you said it's bigger than LA?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, because Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Chicano.
Chicago.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, they
Got
exactly
it.
They got confused.
Hey, what team do you play for? The Chicano Bears.
Yeah, exactly.
This episode of the FREE99 podcast.
Brought to you
No.
by...
When it
By
comes
Ramenwell.
to like people in Chicago, Asians were like kind of like policed, and there's of course white, black, and then the Latinos were like the Puerto Ricans on the west side, the Mexicans on the south side.
So, I mean, let's just fucking ask you, like, who has better Mexican food? Is it Chicago or
Yes.
is it...
I haven't
next,
had.
next.
All right.
I haven't had.
All right, who's better, the Bears or the Niners?
I haven't had Chicago.
Niners.
Okay, things maybe same.
I haven't had Chicago Mexican food, so I can't give that any validity until I have it.
If
Yeah,
you
that's
look
fair,
at the
that's fair.
Netflix documentary or like special about tacos or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the one in Chicago about the goat birria.
Yeah.
That's my
Oh, yeah.
homeboy. Yeah, that's my homeboy.
But this was all Mexico, though. You know what I mean? Like, we're called San Francisco.
the new one.
San
The one in
Francisco.
Chicago is my homeboy in Chicago.
He did the
The goat birria.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you've seen it.
But this was Mexico, dog. Like, look at our names.
No, but you know what? They probably
Yeah.
had some people go up there like, we're going to do better than the old Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
big
guess I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. I guess that's a field trip.
I kind of, well, in a sense, I kind of like Southern California Mexican food more than Bay Area Mexican food sometimes.
No.
What are you doing, Gus?
Sometimes.
Gus!
It's
Yeah.
so much
Why
better.
are you saying this right now,
Mexican food
bro?
is so much better.
Where?
I thought I knew
LA.
you.
LA?
LA
Because
Mexican food is so much better than Bay Area.
What?
I don't care where we reside.
No, is it really? though?
Yeah.
I could be okay without having
you
rice
never
and beans in a burrito and like roll tacos of this shit. Like it's different, right?
But that's
No,
is it,
it's
is
not
it,
different. It's better.
No, is it good because it's
He's just
different?
trying to
Is
be
it good
nice.
'cause all right, so
He's
let me.
just trying to be nice.
Okay, so let me
I
ask
got a
you.
lot of
then.
homies who own taquerias, so I'm not trying to
Exactly.
I'm not trying
That
to lose
doesn't
my
mean the food
card.
isn't
Different.
good. Like
So okay, so what does the Bay do better than Chicago?
weather?
Ah.
Yeah, you guys
The
are
women
really
in the web.
I guess the ramen's not good here either.
This is the biggest Japanese population outside of Japan.
Yeah,
It's in Japantown.
We have a bigger Chinatown.
you do the one. Yeah, one of the
It's
biggest.
an actual town.
Exactly. Yeah. No. You guys
No, but
do.
I mean, like in reality, like I think. Do you think we have better Filipino food? No, no disrespect.
Yeah.
To moms?
Absolutely.
Because there's more of
Yeah,
us, though,
more.
right?
Exactly.
There's more options.
I
so.
never grew up with Filipinos. One time I was working at my mom's restaurant and I was working the register and they're like, and I was like, I'm sorry, I only speak English. She's like, oh, you don't speak Filipino? I'm like, no.
And it's like it's Tagalog,
Yeah.
not Filipino.
Tagalog. And then they're like, well, then you're not really Filipino then, are you? I'm like,
Oh,
They always try to
that's
pull
like-
that card.
you see how it hurts me still? Like, that was like
Yeah.
20 years ago.
You remember
I'm
her
like,
face exactly, too.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, wow, I know food probably better than you. I probably could cook this stuff better than you, but I'm not Filipino enough for you because I can't speak the
because you
language.
can't roll
because
your R's, dog.
yeah.
Yeah, because I grew up because I didn't have any I didn't choose how I grew up.
Yeah.
But like I'm not Filipino enough that fucking hurt.
So, yes, I mean, let's talk about that though. The Filipino card. We've all been there. This one time I got into a car accident because this chick hit me from the back and she was Filipino. And I had my daughter
Hit it from the back.
Yeah.
from the back. I had my daughter in the car and I was pissed, right?
Okay.
And she was like, oh, we're both Filipino. Let's just go about our ways. And
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, bitch. My daughter was in the car. And then I let her go about her way because I'm Filipino. But, you know, there's kind of like that.
Oh, so you actually did let her go about her way.
Because it's a Filipino.
You were going to let her, but the fact that she asked pissed you off.
Right. And, you know, that's like the whole Filipino discount thing, too,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
That
yeah.
Are you,
My-
are you
my mom
familiar
would-
with that? The Filipino
My mom would
discount?
sit in the back in the kitchen and be like, don't tell them I'm here because they're gonna ask for a discount.
See?
So I would have to talk to them every single like, oh, I know your mom. Oh, I know your mom. I'm like, well, my mom's trying to make a living just like to
Yeah.
feed her family.
Yeah.
So how about you pay full price?
You're
Like,
getting hella sabao. You're getting hella
Exactly.
soup now in your shit.
Whenever I get a discount, I'm like, I give extra tip.
Yes.
I give over what I should have.
Yeah.
Because
I
I,
give
want to
more
support.
than just the tip.
I want to support. Yeah, exactly. You get extra tip.
Yeah.
Hello.
Anyways, I want
It's
to
okay.
get
It's like
more.
57.
No, I
minutes.
feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as like that's
That's
yeah.
how I grew up.
Yeah.
Your mom hit
it
it in the
was
back.
rough.
That's equivalent. That's equivalent to being the club promoter and then putting a girl in the front to collect the door fee because you're trying to make as much money as you want. I'm gonna hide in the DJ booth. Go ahead and collect all these funds. Oh, I know so and so. Was like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
We need full price right now.
Yeah.
We're doing
Yeah.
full price.
And that's the thing, right? It also comes with the whole, I guess, that's like the Filipino discount, but it doesn't mix well with kind of like our beliefs, which is like you gotta always like support the homies, right? Buy their shit. You gotta you know do all of that stuff.
That thought has to switch though.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I think that has to switch. Like, oh no,
Well,
support.
I guess
no.
I guess I'll stop buying from Ramenwell.
No.
then.
I'm talking about like support the homies, but don't expect a discount.
Yes.
I think that
You don't think that?
the people that I want to support, I want to pay full price because I'm.
Oh, yes, of course.
supporting-
No, yeah, of course,
I'm
of
sorry,
course.
I wasn't sure if I was like
No.
misunderstanding what
You
you're
pay full
saying.
price, man. And it's like if not,
Yeah.
you know, if you know how people can be insistent, then it's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna leave this 20 under the placemat, or
Yeah.
you know, something like that.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think we're in agreement with what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we've had like a numerous guests on, and they have a really strong support system, and I think that's the one thing that is the commonality amongst all of those different guests and all of those different ventures, is that they have a strong core and foundation that supports them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
What made it do for you though? Because you moved over here, and not that you didn't know anyone, but it's kind of like you came out here and guns blazing, and you opened up a restaurant.
So I came out here and it wasn't gun blazing. It was
It wasn't good blazing.
no. I was like tail tucked between my legs.
Shooting
wondering what the
blanks.
heck-
I
Yeah.
feel it.
What the fuck am I gonna do?
I got 3 kids. I don't feel that shit at
You
all.
drove out here, right?
So it was crazy. So from the moment I knew I was gonna come out here, I asked one of my best friends. I was like, "Do you want to drive to California next Friday?"
Next Friday, dog.
Literally.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll pack my car. I don't have a lot of shit. I never had a lot of shit. For a portion of my life, or not my life, but for a portion of that previous year, I was living in and out of my car too. So I was like, fuck it, let's just go. And then
Was that by choice?
not having a place to go, it's not really not a choice at some point. You know what I mean?
Tell that to Kanye.
Is homelessness a choice? Is
Tell that to Kanye.
yeah. is the people there on the street sometimes a choice? Yes. Do they have a place to go? Yes, also, right?
Yeah, right.
But like you can't just be like, well, you have a place to go there, type of thing.
Yeah.
So you packed up, and then you were like, I'm going to go to Cali.
Yeah, I packed up like, hey, can you drive with me? Because I can't drive all the way through. So
how long is that drive, by the way?
From Chicago to Vegas, it was 24 hours straight. I bought a room, and then we slept, and then we went to LA.
Got a Subway with the
I got a Subway. I brought my own jardinero this time.
You're like, I've been here before.
I know what you do.
You'll get me again, fucker.
This shit.
I want jardinero on my tuna salad.
Shame on you. Fool me twice. Fuck you.
I know this isn't real tuna.
Tuna.
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on me.
It's like 8 hours from here. You ended up in
LA hung
first.
out there, like a couple friends. My brother's in San
Food's
Diego.
good in LA, bro.
Yeah, food's great in LA.
Food's good in LA.
I just didn't trust the people. I didn't trust their values.
There's too many people, and when you say that, because it's everyone that's not from LA that lives in LA. Would you say that?
I'm not there to choose. Like, I'm not there to figure out where you're from.
Yeah.
Like, I'm from Chicago, so when I move to somewhere, I'm like, it's not me. I have a snapshot to figure out what I want to do. And I can't be like, whoa, if I dig deeper and if I figure out like what these people's problems are, maybe they're actually like, I have no fucking clue.
Okay.
So I need to figure out where I'm going to land in the next, couple days.
You weren't feeling the energy. You're like, this
Exactly.
is not it.
Yeah, I know the energy. Like a lot of people know, like, oh my god, like what kind of car do you drive? Like so
Pathfinder.
Like that.
Exactly.
But what year is it? Like I'm
Don't
over there.
for it.
Yeah.
I got a Kia.
So yeah.
Go ahead.
Then I went to San Diego visit my brother, and I was
Great
like,
Mexican food, by the way.
yeah,
That
so,
I can get
like,
down with. I can get down with.
Absolutely,
Mexican food.
absolutely. Fish tacos, this shit.
It's different.
It is.
I think sometimes when
It is.
you find the right fish taco, you'll just settle down. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
And the same flavor for life. Some will never know.
I hope so, because that's part of the contract. Anyway, so
Hello.
How did you decide to settle down here? Was it because
I didn't like
the,
SoCal. I thought I needed more hustle. Coming from Chicago, it's like Chicago hustle. You gotta freaking like every single day.
Yeah.
Like, what's
Where's
next?
my
What are you gonna
Jardinero?
do? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
every single where's my jardinero? Well, why is it?
Yeah.
No, every single day I feel like Chicagoans are pushing themselves to the. It might seem like the next level, but they're pushing themselves to something more.
Not the Bulls.
It's too laid back in SoCal.
Yeah.
Yeah, over here there's a bit more hustle and
Absolutely.
You know what I mean, like a bit more grittiness to it.
LA has their own grittiness.
Oh,
too.
yeah, definitely.
for
Yeah,
sure.
but it's like a
San
passive,
Diego is
like,
yeah.
passive grittiness. Like,
I don't know. I fuck with y'all, LA.
I fuck with you.
I fuck with y'all,
Yeah.
LA. I'm all right
Hey,
with y'all.
Northridge, I'm out here. So, I mean, you have a strong basis here of family, right?
Yeah. Well,
Now,
so what happened?
What happened?
What had happened was, I was in San Diego. I was like, I gotta fucking do something. I gotta make money.
because your brother's out there is SD, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm like, I got 2,000 in my bank, 2,000 in my bank account. I have a car full of my shit. I had no idea that I shouldn't have come my car full of shit over here. Luckily, I did not. Like in San Diego, he can
Wait,
do it.
is your best friend still with you?
No, he's in.
No, he's
Chicago.
like, all right, I'm head out, bro.
He's in Shy right now.
Yeah.
He's
No,
out.
I mean, was he with you when you were in San Diego?
No, I bought him a flight back.
Oh,
So I was by myself.
nice.
But yeah, I was like, I gotta do something. I gotta make money. Like I can't sit still. Like
Yeah.
like there's some people with that personality where they can't just hang out.
Yeah.
So I decided to actually go up to SF and trying to do something. So I was driving up, then I remember I called my mom, like talked to her. She's like, oh, I know somebody in SF. I know somebody in like San Francisco. I'm like, okay, cool. Can you call them? 'Cause I'm driving up there, and
Let them know I'm coming.
if I don't meet anybody, I'm going to stay in an Airbnb.
Yeah.
I'm going to just figure out what I'm going to do at that point. So my plan was to stay in Airbnb until I find a job.
Right.
And with my skills at that point, I felt like I could find a job pretty easily, and hopefully that would pay enough for me to, pay for my food, pay for my stay. So at that point,
2 weeks, you'd be solid,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, at that
feel
point,
it.
I mean, like, I didn't have anything except everything in my car and then my direction. So my mom was like, oh, yeah, I know somebody. She calls her. She has a room, or she talks to her sister who has a room. And then I interview with
Who was this?
Someone heating of a discount too. I remember you. You don't speak Tagalog.
No.
And you charge me
It's
full
my
price.
new. I don't know. I don't want to say names, but it's my new family here.
Dope.
And I have a huge family here, which
Dope.
is one of the most biggest blessings that I've ever had in my life, and one of the most biggest reasons why I'm still here.
That's how I met you.
Yeah, exactly. So
You're welcome.
thank you.
Yeah,
Hey, man, fuck you. You're welcome.
You're here because of Ramel.
Yeah, exactly.
You're here.
So
here.
I met somebody, and they're like layers after layers are peeled back, and then all of a sudden I'm like living at one of their houses and meeting like the whole family, and it felt like family immediately.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I don't have a small family in Chicago. I have 50, 60 cousins. I have
All asking for discounts.
30, yeah, exactly, but no. But I have 30 aunts and uncles in Chicago. I have a huge family in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like my wedding in Chicago was bigger than my wedding out in California.
I wouldn't know I was invited to you.
Yeah, exactly. But you can see the pictures. But look at the pictures. Like,
It's like them at least, fucker.
It's cool.
like,
By the time this comes out,
click that shit, bro.
yeah, by the time this episode comes out, I will be engaged.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, does she know yet?
No,
Nope.
because this is about 3 weeks out
Yeah,
from
this
when.
is 3 weeks out.
Yeah, from
And
when
I'm,
this drops.
What if she says no?
Then I'm coming home with a Japanese-speaking.
Doll.
Yeah, with at least 3 holes.
Chat GPT, just like.
Contemporary.
Yeah, it's contemporary Asian. There's 4 holes. No, but yeah, man.
So luckily I made it up here, and I found not only did I find a home, I found a family.
Are you?
A family found you.
Yeah,
Damn.
sure.
That's what's up. Sure.
But
It's
yeah.
like I said the same shit. Sure.
Like,
That was
Yeah.
so Chicago. This dude.
Yeah,
Like,
peppers, olive oil. This Jardine,
yeah,
man. This
sure. They found me too. Like,
let this guy stay at the house. Yeah.
Hey, who's this fella?
yeah. One cousin was like, "Hey, you one of those fobs?" I'm like, because like the family I was staying with,
You one of those?
it
You're one
has
of
like
those
people from the
fobs?
Philippines like
Yeah, yeah,
stay with
yeah,
them whenever
yeah.
they're in town, right?
Yeah, that's how we roll.
And I was literally at one of the family parties. He's like, "Hey, you one of those fobs?" I was like, "No, I'm from Chicago." I was like, "What the fuck are you
They
talking
didn't know
about?"
there ain't Filipinos in Chicago.
They're like, what province is that?
I'm like, "Hi, my name is this." Like what? How is that an
One of
introduction?
those fobs.
Damn, fuck that guy. Was he Filipino too?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually one of my close friends right now. Yeah. Cousins,
I'm sorry I said
friends.
that.
No,
So-
it's cool. Now fuck him too.
Fuck
No,
you.
for real. Like,
No, man, Filipinos are the worst. They're the most critical of fobs, man.
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even use fobs anymore. I just use
Fresh out the boat.
Filipinos. Whatever, it's all the same. It looks like you're thriving, dog, and I know you have a lot of different other things you're working on. Anything you want to talk about?
That was some really good katsu, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. No,
Yeah. It
was
that's
whatever.
really good. That's really good. That's
I
really
think the
good.
most important part about the next part of my journey is to try to figure out how to create a life for me and my wife at that point. Like going up to it, I knew I had a lot of fucking troubles. I knew I
Yeah.
had a lot of shit I had to deal with. There's a reason why I moved on. Like nobody packs their car and leaves their hometown. Their home, their
That is
parents,
true.
their family. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
you got baggage.
if you want to like dig deeper into that, like there was so much shit and drama and baggage that I had to deal with that I had to fucking leave. I felt like I had to leave. Not that I had to, but I felt like I had to leave. I had to escape.
For your sanity.
Yeah, for
No, I
my,
feel
not
it.
only for my future.
But I feel
So many times I've been driving my car and I just wanted back then I just wanted to drive it off the road. You know what I mean?
The thing is, though, like
To
you,
everybody.
the way you openly speak about this, right? How criticism can have a negative effect to your mental health. How you talk about the baggage that you used to carry, right? It seems like you have a grip on this, and that, or if not a grip, that it is a current work in progress, and that you are working hard on that.
Yeah. So before I proposed to my now wife, which was 2 years ago or whatever, I told myself, if you're gonna fucking try to give yourself for the rest of your life to somebody, you better give the best part. You better give your best self. So before I even married her, or before I even asked her, I started seeing a therapist. I started, which is really hard for a lot of dudes to do.
Which is really hard for a lot of dudes and a lot of
Filipinos,
Exactly.
exactly. Like, so what's wrong with me? This
Yeah.
and that. It's like, dude, we need help in every single fucking aspect of our lives. And
Yeah.
if you don't think that, then do you think that Michael Jordan can't get better with Phil Jackson? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, the Wizards. But
Bobcats.
let's not talk about his stint. Let's not talk. Let's not talk about his stint for the White Sox.
man.
I do fuck with like therapy though, because
But, yeah.
I had it at a very young age. I think I was like 7th grade and 8th grade is when my mom asked if I want to go to therapy, and I was like, okay. I don't know what this is. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. It was that, and then it was in high school where my mom asked me if I wanted to go to therapy, and I was like, all right. And then I gave it a shot. It helps to have a unbiased. It helps to have an ear that's just gonna listen, who doesn't know anyone else in your life but you.
Right.
To give you a fair evaluation of your interpretation of what just happened, right? Or you trying to, like, you're in a sense. And for me, therapy was like explaining myself, but also trying to protect myself, and also like making sure I didn't look like an idiot in therapy. For me, in therapy,
you're still conscious, but
especially around high school for me.
But hopefully, you can get there past that point. I think the biggest part about therapy, which is
for you,
for me, yes, absolutely. Biggest part of therapy is just like getting past the point in which you don't feel judgment anymore.
That's what it is.
For sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
But also the point in which you can take situations of our lives,
right.
of our, whether our parents immigrated here or we're experiencing something that, you know, is kind of popular in like Filipino culture, of taking ownership of it as well.
Yeah,
like moving forward. Yeah, exactly.
My dad passed it when I was younger in 2002, and I think I was 18, and I didn't have the best relationship with him. But through therapy, I found out that, I was able to kind of see how he was, right? Being like an immigrant parent who was raised the way he was, the only way he knew how to love was to provide a roof over your head, give you money, and make sure you were fed.
Yeah.
And
right?
not leave.
Exactly. Yeah.
Motherfucker didn't leave.
Back in the 80s, dog, people had fucking second families like 2 streets down because there's no social media. Shit is wild, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think through therapy, I learned a lot. And I think it always stems from, unfortunately, childhood trauma, unaddressed childhood trauma. And I think that can resonate in a lot of people. But I agree. I'm a big proponent for, number one, psychedelics used for therapeutic measures, and also number 2.
I take those, yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to the upcoming mushroom soup coming out.
Yeah. Collab.
That mushroom ramen.
Free
for
your
sure.
mind, 99. Free your mind.
That's gonna be no, but I'm a big believer in that, and therapy does help. And I think that give you your flowers on that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Because as a man,
thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, as a man,
Absolutely.
to do that prior to getting engaged, knowing that you have to grow, is something a lot of people don't do.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I did that. I got life insurance because
yeah,
because I don't have any money, or didn't have any money. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna marry her, she's gonna have shit if I die. Like, I need to provide at least something. I need to be a provider too. Like that makes me feel like more of a person as well.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I think those were the first 2 big things, and then also like, work on our relationship too.
and I think going back to like all of these accolades that you have, all of these fucking restaurants and everything. That's why you don't give a fuck, because there's more things that matter now.
Yeah, when I'm sitting next to her and I'm looking at her in the eyes,
Don't look at me like
when
that, please.
I'm sitting next to her, looking her in the eyes, and I'm just like,
around.
we have the rest of our lives together. What the fuck does that accolade even mean?
It's
It means
true.
shit.
It's true, because if everyone else out there feels that same way, way
I'll
about
turn
you,
on this.
if
Sorry, I
everyone,
don't mean to leave you out.
that JMO hit,
Yeah, the demo hit. It hit good.
if it's true though, if nobody, if who gives a fuck what they say, Yeah,
Okay, cool.
No, it's true.
We're good.
Good shit though, man. I'm proud of you. You're still my favorite Sugitan.
For sure. Hopefully none of them hear this.
No, I told everyone that you're going to be on, actually.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. Thank you for joining us, bro.
Yeah,
Sure, thank you as well.
it's amazing because for you, all right, look, I'm just the way I see it, right? Because it's the first time I'm meeting you today.
Do it.
Filipino from Chicago came out here on the strength, based off his skills, opened up a shop in one of the hardest cities to open up in,
Yeah,
and because
hooked up.
Frisco could be real finicky. Either it loves you or it hates you. There's no like real in between.
They come from Chicago. No lie. I feel more scared in SF than I do in Chicago. people say Chirac all day, but my wife knows. She's like, she feels more scared in SF than Chicago.
BIP is a real thing out here too.
No, it's not even that. It's just like the
Underbelly.
No, the unknown. What you don't know what to expect. And
Yeah.
From the people on the street, like in Chicago, you know what to expect. You know that, like, if you keep your head up, you might expect something. But the homeless or the crazy or the people that are like, need a little bit more help, you don't know what to expect.
Good correction.
From them.
Yeah.
It's scary.
And the thing is that you opened a restaurant prior pandemic, and then you worked through it, and then came out of it. That was the true test. A lot of restaurants didn't make it out of the pandemic, and that's a true test. And you just barely got your feet wet, and that is so dope to me. Because then we're like, what? We're officially 2 years out of the pandemic,
Officially,
right?
yeah.
Officially,
I think one.
I think one. Yeah.
mask free, kind of like when everyone started going raw dog on the mask.
Yeah, exactly.
So 1 year out, and then now you're feeling more your stride, and you're feeling more confident. Like your
mushrooms be mushrooming.
Yeah.
Your
They're
katsuing, dog.
sure.
And your bowels are bowing.
Yeah.
Your sauce is saucing.
Yeah. Trust the process for sure.
And that's one thing I thought about when you said you kept jumping around. It was like you didn't let the process like really sink in at first, right?
Absolutely.
But at the same time, without you moving like that, you probably would never have made the move out here. So it was part of the process in a sense. This is not therapy, but this motherfucker makes some good katsu, okay?
I'm very grateful for where I am right now,
Yeah.
regardless of whatever happened in my past. Like, these moments are what I appreciate every single day. Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you. We're gonna change our name to Flowers99 because we're giving them motherfuckers out.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Yeah. Just give them out.
We love it.
While you
Anything, Jan, you wanna anything you wanna ask before we wrap?
I just want to say this episode has been a real eye opener, and I never knew your story. I mean, I tried to research you, but hearing what you had to say today, I think I always wanted to go to Ramenwell and check it out. I always pass by, and certain homies always big it up, and they're like, "Oh, you got to go there and
Get that mushroom soup, dog.
yeah, especially the mushroom, because then one of them, my homie Apexer, he's a vegan, and he's always talking about the mushroom ramen
For sure.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to also say you're an inspiration, like coming from Chicago,
Big facts, bud.
driving out with your best friend. That's like a really huge thing, and the way you kind of approach your life with your wife, and the way you had to straighten everything out. I mean, that's really grown up, adult, things to do and take care of. And you're the youngest one here.
Yeah.
Youngest.
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah, with a thriving business.
All right, enough.
Couple more weeks, I'll be in the same boat as y'all.
All right,
Come on
enough
now.
flowers.
Not in his
Appreciate
hometown.
that.
Yeah, but do you have a
Appreciate
podcast?
I just feel lucky because I feel like I came through like the back way of like Ramenwell, and I meet you, the owner, first, and I have to come by and check it out now. I'm sure everybody else will want to too. So
For sure. Yeah. I appreciate meeting you as well.
Well, Jan, just like Harold did, he went the back way, and you went the back way, and you guys are just a bunch of backdoor buddies now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Holding hands while doing it.
all right, relax. I do want to say
Eye contact strong.
Eye contact is strong. Yeah, man. It's true though. I think self-awareness is what kind of echoes out from this episode, as well as accountability. But don't let that shit fool you. Even though people show strength, it could be the smallest criticism that can break them down.
Yeah, fuck you up.
Yeah, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. We
True
don't.
story, though.
Yeah, we don't go to your work and knock the broom out of your hand.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Some guy threatened me recently.
yeah.
Like,
yo,
if you don't
man.
do this, I'll give you a bad review. I'm just like,
Oh, I thought they're like, yo, this shit's so good, I'm gonna kill you. Excuse me?
He threatened you with a bad review.
yeah. I was like, I'm sorry. Is that how you want to get around in life?
That's another thing too, man. I think that.
I'm sorry. I think you're ending it, but like, if you want to.
No. I just on my final words. I think that's kind of like how the fucking society is now. It's like people are weaponizing the cancel culture.
They are, yeah.
And it's fucking stupid, man. Let me just believe what I want to believe, and if you don't believe it, then just keep walking. Agree to disagree. I don't give a fuck. I'll listen to what you say, and we can have a healthy discourse. But there's no reason to cancel somebody because there's growth. There's growth that takes place. He was in Chicago living out of a fucking car. Now he's on the Michelin Guide. What the fuck are you doing?
It's so dope to meet the person behind who makes masterful meals very thoughtfully. I'm still tripping that you're a Filipino dude making Japanese food and you're killing it on the Mission Guided.
Yeah.
You know,
and about my whole life. Like,
so
what the hell am I doing?
Your mom, right? No, it's a trip.
Yeah.
It's true. So being that
I'm it, yeah.
classically trained Filipino, what's the difference between caldereta, menudo, and what's that other one?
Menudo has more like offal, like liver and all that stuff. Caldereta, from what I have, is had more beef, and then also like potatoes and carrots and all that stuff.
I don't know. I think that's an awful explanation.
That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. Yeah.
What a way to kill it.
I'm sorry. Fine, fucking keep talking. I'm so sorry.
Harold of Ramenwell, please give us your address where you're located at.
Yeah, it's at,
last words too. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's 3378 18th Street in the Mission in San Francisco.
In the city, man.
Yeah, so try it out, yo.
Last words for the guest.
Shit.
Jardine.
Yeah, like fucking love each other. That's it. Be good.
Get help, get therapy. Mental health is real.
Absolutely.
Stop canceling people.
Mental health as well.
Yeah.
Too.
If you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Yeah, cancel your
Yelp.
subscriptions before you cancel me, dog.
Yeah.
We all see you still got Hulu. You don't even watch that shit.
FREE99 podcast, episode 170. Harold for Ramenwell. Thank you. Peace. Eyes.
Damn, my ass ain't that big, bro.
Eyes.
Hey, this shit's hitting the Gus.
Yeah, no, I like this shit.
Yeah.